Alright guys, I haven't really done Star Wars much on this channel. I did one Star Wars video, but it was alright. Let me see if this video does well. This video is going to be about what if Palpatine trained Anakin. So without a further ado, let's get to it. Palpatine and Plagueis will be using the dark side of the Force to try to create life. To try to create life to do their bidding, to do their will. However, the Force rebelled and created Anakin, a man made to destroy the Sith once and for all. After this, Plagueis and Palpatine didn't think it worked, but then they felt a enormous disturbance in the Force. Plagueis knew what he did, and he was disgusted. Plagueis would investigate with Palpatine. He would discover Anakin. Not directly, but his spies would. And Plagueis would be so disgusted at what he created, he would be horrified. But Palpatine was excited, and he thought maybe he could have him as an apprentice. So he had an idea. Maybe he could test the boy with Maul and see how he did, and if he passed the test, he could train him as an apprentice. Years would pass, Palpatine would get Maul, and everything would go out normally. However, this timeline, when Palpatine assassinated Plagueis, things would be a bit differently. Plagueis would be drunk, just like in canon. When Palpatine shocked him with lightning, he said, Anakin will be my new apprentice. He will be used for me to destroy the Jedi once and for all. Plagueis said, but he'll destroy the Sith. Oh, I'm counting on it. But when the Sith are destroyed, I will be on top, he said, as he shocked Plagueis with more and more lightning. Eventually, he died. As he fell to the floor dead, he could feel a presence in the Force, a presence fade. He felt Maul died. Anakin must have passed the test. Anakin will be flying back down to Tatooine after blowing up a massive spaceship. However, when he flew back down, he saw a dark figure in front of him, with dead bodies all around him. The dark figure pulled out a red lightsaber and said, come with me. Anakin said no. As he tried to run away, though, the Force pulled him towards him, and he said, shh, your training has only just begun, boy. Anakin would be knocked out with the Force. Then he would wake up on a desert planet. Palpatine would then pull out his lightsaber and bring it closer and closer to Anakin. Anakin would shake in fear. Please don't kill me. Palpatine said, I'm not going to kill you. I just need you to bleed this. He threw him down a blue lightsaber. As he picked it up, he looked at it in astonishment. Palpatine said, I'll give you a chance to get revenge and free your mother, to do things that the Jedi have never thought was possible. Anakin would nod. But first, you must bleed your Kyber crystal. Use all of your hatred. Use all of your anger. Palpatine would then continue to torture Anakin, shooting him with lightning, making him feel fear, making him feel pain. As all the anger channeled through him, his blue lightsaber eventually turned red as the ground shook. Palpatine would say, good, Anakin, very good. Now that your lightsaber is red, it is time for you to get revenge. Palpatine and Anakin got on a spaceship as they continued to fly back to Tatooine. We cut to Obi-Wan crying. Yoda would walk up to Obi-Wan and say, fault, it is not yours. Obi-Wan say, yes it is. I was supposed to be there for Anakin. I was supposed to be with him. Now, he's gone. He's probably dead. The Jedi didn't really know what happened to Anakin. Many assumed that he just died. But as the years passed, Anakin continued his training until he was 12 years old. Palpatine would arrive on the planet and say, I've been giving you food and water and training you. From now on, you'll have to defend for yourself for 3 years. When I come back, I'll train you with talking and many other personal skills so you can lead a rebellion and kill the Jedi. Anakin would smirk and say, that's it? And once you complete this task, you will no longer be known as Anakin. You'll be known as Darth Vader. Is that understood? Anakin would say, yes, my master. Palpatine would leave, as Anakin would be left. He would search for food for days, but he wouldn't find any. Eventually, he would find a small Tusken Raider hut. He would slaughter all of the raiders and eat their flesh. Anakin was like a wild animal that tore apart anything and devoured it. Animals, cacti, he would tear it apart. He would use the Force to get rid of the bacteria and just eat it raw. Anakin was a beast of nature, destroying everything in his path with one purpose and one purpose only: survival. This made Anakin more and more ruthless by the day, and more bloodlust, and his fighting style became more animalistic, more primal, more merciless, just as Palpatine planned. As we cut to Palpatine, he is getting the Separatists ready, and preparing them to be led by Anakin very slowly. After all these years would pass, Palpatine would land back on the desert planet and look for Anakin. But when he found him, his face was covered in blood, and he was devouring humans. Palpatine said, "Looks like you had a good meal." "Yes, my master." "Good. Now get that blood off your face. It's time for you to learn how to be civilized. And for you to welcome a new member and train him, General Grievous." General Grievous would walk down the stairs of the spaceship. As General Grievous walked out, he pulled out all of his lightsabers at once and swung it at Anakin, but Anakin blocked it with his red lightsaber, and he blocked it again and again and again and again. They both battled. General Grievous had much more speed and mobility, but Anakin had something he didn't: ferocity, strength, and the Force. Which each swing Anakin did, even though his swings were slower, they hit way more, and they swung again and again and again and again. Anakin became one with the Force, and he used the dark side to guide his every movement, as eventually he cut off one of General Grievous's arms. Then Force pushed him to the ground so hard his skull almost ripped. Palpatine said, "That's enough. Good, my apprentice." And General Grievous, you stood against him for 13 minutes. A Jedi would only stand against him for 5. "You are very worthy," he said, laughing. General Grievous said, "Thank you, sir." Anakin would be taught how to talk, how to train, and how to think, and how to strategize. He would become a great genius, a lot like Napoleon. He would lead his troops into battle. One day, Anakin would be stationed on Geonosis. The Clone Wars were about to begin, but as he was sitting, drinking some wine, suddenly he got news. One of his men told him that Obi-Wan was captured. Obi-Wan sat in his cell, looking around the room, as suddenly Anakin would walk in. He would say, "Is that you, Anakin?" Anakin would say, "Anakin is gone. I am what remains. I am Vader. You know, Obi-Wan, you're pretty strong for a Jedi. True, your Force potential is subpar, but you have amazing lightsaber skills. If you turn to the dark side, I'm sure we can amplify your Force potential and make you a worthy fighter. We can easily destroy the Jedi and stop corruption." Obi-Wan would say, "You honestly think I would join you? Look at yourself. You become evil. You become barbaric. Look at those eyes. Look at your face. You used to be an innocent, cute, sweet boy, and now you've been tainted by the dark side." Anakin would say, "Shut up. The light side has tainted you. The light side is nothing but weakness. I am strong. I am powerful. I am darkness. Now, join me or be executed." Obi-Wan would say, "It's not too late for you, Anakin. Shut up." He would send Obi-Wan to be executed with Padme, not really caring about her. As he watched, though, it would be interrupted as Jedi after Jedi jumped down. He sent in the droids to blast them away, as suddenly Mace Windu would look up and say, "It's over, Anakin." Anakin would say, "I am no longer Anakin, I am Vader." And it's not over, but suddenly clones would appear. As the first battle of Geonosis started, Anakin would start to run away. As he ran, Obi-Wan saw him and chased after him. He pulled out his red lightsaber and began to fight him. But he was too powerful. He cut off one of Obi-Wan's arms and shook him with lightning as he hit the ground. Then Anakin got on the spaceship and flew away. A couple years would pass. The Clone Wars were going on. Anytime Anakin was involved, he would win. Anakin was a beast of nature. He was a savage. He slaughtered every Jedi he fought against. And he was a tactical genius. However, the Jedi Council had a plan to get rid of him. They had a plan to capture him. One day, Palpatine would call Anakin. As Anakin would bow, he said, "What is it, Master?" "The Jedi are planning to capture you, but let them. Then I will release you from prison, and we will continue our plan. The plan will be complete once you are released," he said, laughing. "As you wish, Master." One day, Anakin would be on a spaceship, when suddenly he would be ambushed by all the Jedi Council members. As it was boarded, he looked up and saw Mace Windu. As Mace Windu looked at him, he said, "You are under arrest." Anakin said, "Okay, I surrender." All the council members were shocked. "Surrender, you do? They didn't know a Sith would just surrender. It seemed fishy, but what would they do, not take him to jail? They decided to put him in maximum security prison. inside the Capitol. But eventually, suddenly, Anakin's chains would be let free. As Anakin ran up to the room, he saw Palpatine fighting Mace Windu. Dead Jedi all around him, but right as he's about to lose, he cut off Mace Windu's arm and shot him with Force lightning as they fell through the window. Palpatine said, "Good, good," as he pulled out his communicator, "Execute Order 66. Anakin would then purge out all the Jedi with Palpatine. As the Jedi were destroyed, Palpatine would make an announcement of the creation of the new Galactic Empire and his right-hand man, Anakin. Anakin would say, "The Chancellor had to be let out of prison. I am sorry for the harm that I caused. I hope you can forgive me. But the Separatists captured my friends and family." Palpatine would say they did, and to prove his loyalty, he'll execute the Separatists. As the Separatists were brought out in chains, tied up, Anakin went down and cut off all their heads, executing them. As the crowd cheered, they forgave Anakin. Anakin was now known as Darth Vader. As this was going on, Obi-Wan and Yoda heard about this. They knew they only had one chance to save the day. As Palpatine and Anakin were in the Chancellor's office, suddenly Yoda came in with Obi-Wan. Yoda charged at Palpatine as Palpatine pulled out his red lightsaber and they began the battle. Then suddenly Anakin fought Obi-Wan. It was intense. Obi-Wan had great precision, but Anakin was much stronger in the Force. Meanwhile, Palpatine and Yoda fought, both of them extremely powerful in the Force, both of them hitting each other with everything they had. However, Obi-Wan lost his head as Anakin chopped it off. As he chopped off his head, he looked and he saw Yoda being shot with Force lightning. As Palpatine shocked him with all the lightning, with all the power he had, eventually Yoda turned to dust. As he said, "That's what happens to the weak Jedi." More years would pass as the Empire ruled the galaxy. It seemed like nothing could stop the Sith. However, Anakin would walk into Palpatine's office and say, "I'm no longer taking orders from you." Palpatine would pull out both lightsabers and say, "So it's treason then." As they both began the battle, Palpatine used both lightsabers to try to cut off Anakin's head, but Anakin's head strong, starting to block every blow, block it with all of his might, block it with all of his hatred, and began to swing back. Palpatine shot waves of Force lightning, but Anakin shot lightning back, and it turned red as it hit Palpatine to the floor. Palpatine used his speed, Palpatine used his strength, Palpatine used his strategy, but no matter what he did, he could not beat Darth Vader. Darth Vader was simply too powerful as they pushed each other further and further and further, eventually cut off one of Palpatine's arms as he fell to the floor. Palpatine looked up and said, "Do it! Strike me down and take my place, my apprentice." Darth Vader said, "I'm glad you're mature about this," as he cut off his head, but suddenly, he felt his mind being taken over as Palpatine planned for Anakin to kill him. His plan was to train him and make the perfect Sith warrior so he could kill him and take his body. As he fell to the floor, he yelled, "No! No! No!" Palpatine used an ancient technique to take over Anakin's mind. As Palpatine got up in Anakin's body, he yelled, "Yes! Now with the perfect body, I shall rule the universe!" Palpatine discovered immortality and lived inside of Anakin's body, and he ruled the Galactic Empire for all of eternity. The Sith had unlimited power, and there was no longer two Sith, but one, Palpatine, in the body of Anakin Skywalker. And that's where I'm going to leave things off. Hope you all enjoyed this series, or not series, a little mini video. I don't know how well it'll do since I've been doing Dragon Ball, but I hope you all like, comment, and subscribe, because I need to get 1,000 subscribers to become a full-time YouTuber. Can I do it? Probably not this year. Probably gonna have to get a real job and fucking hate my life. But yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe.